Tells me she's
No other violations. A new report says John Gruden is the only person negatively impacted by an email investigation. More on what sources are saying next at 11.
Police say Jatoni Zendel was shot. Well, Christian.
This is your weather now.
Good Friday evening, everyone. Ted Ferrandi here with your weather now. Let's begin with your temperatures outside. Nice and cool out there. 60 for Las Vegas, even cooler for Henderson, 53. Wind speeds have decreased after those gusty winds we had earlier today. Top gust hoovered down with 42 miles per hour. Laughlin at 38, 28 for McCarran and Nellis. So it was a little gusty at times for the day today. Tomorrow temperatures will be in the high 70s, warmer than today. Weather headline shows warming for the weekend, breezy winds returning, and then cooler again by Monday. I'll break this all down for you all coming up. But first, here's your news at 11.
All right, thank you, Ted. A new report claims John Gruden is likely the only person that will deal with fallout of leaked emails. Plus, after a deadly bus stop shooting, the RTC shares how it's making sure passengers feel safe. And slow deliveries continue. More on the effort to speed up the mail ahead of the holidays.
Now, this is 8 News Now, 5 at 11. Live, local, now.
Thank you so much for joining us here at 11 o'clock. I'm Christian Cáceres. Tonight, we're learning more about the man who was shot and killed this weekend at a bus stop. This as police say they've arrested the person who pulled the trigger. Orko Mana joins us live near Paradise and Sahara with what he's found out this evening. Orko, good evening to you.
Well, Christian, police say Jatoni Zendel was shot near this bus stop after getting into a fight with two men who were laughing at him while they were all on the same bus together. Tonight, his friend tells me she's heartbroken and she just wants justice.
Everywhere he went, everybody considered him family.
Toya Long is holding on to the memories of her friend Jatoni Sandell. She describes the 27-year-old, affectionately nicknamed Jet, as a beautiful soul. They met while working at Big Chicken, where Jet was a bartender.
Jet was just a bright light.
That's why she's shocked Jet was shot and killed Sunday night.
Who would do such a thing to such a nice guy? He didn't deserve this.
Metro Police arrested this man, 22-year-old John Kirby, on a murder charge. According to an arrest report obtained by 8 News Now, while Jet was riding an RTC bus, he yelled to the bus driver he pressed the button for the wrong stop. A woman then yelled at Jet and told him to walk. That's when a man who was with Kirby started to loudly laugh. The report states the 3 men got off the bus at Paradise and Sahara to fight, and Jet threw a punch at Kirby, who then shot Jet in the chest. Jet died at the hospital.
I don't really see Jet confronting anybody unless it's self-defense.
As Jet's friends grapple with grief, they want to honor his life and legacy.
I want Jet to be remembered as the charismatic, funny, loving guy that he always was.
Now, police were able to piece together what happened because of RTC bus surveillance footage. The RTC sent me a statement today saying public safety is their top priority and that they've invested more than $21 million in safety and security enhancements, including live look-in features and security officers. Now, the suspect in this case, John Kirby, is due in court on Monday. Reporting live in Las Vegas tonight, Orko Manna, live, local, now.
All right, thank you, Orko. A man was hit crossing the street in the South Valley tonight. This happened near Eastern and Warm Springs. Metro Police say he was not in the crosswalk. That man was taken to the hospital in critical condition. Our other top story tonight, no other email violations have been found within the NFL. A source telling the Associated Press former Raiders coach Jon Gruden is the only one that used such offensive language. John Treach joining us live tonight in studio with more on this report. John.
Since the sudden exit of Gruden, many have speculated about who could be next. But according to this report, Gruden will likely be the first and only person outed. A source familiar with the NFL's investigation says no other team or league staff have sent anything as bad as what Gruden wrote. Emails that surfaced over the last week showed the former Raiders head coach using racist, homophobic, and misogynistic language. The league had been sorting through 650,000 emails, which have not been publicly released. Those are part of an investigation of sexual harassment and other workplace conditions at the Washington football team. Come Sunday, the Raiders will play without Gruden on the sideline for the first time since 2017. Rich Bisaccia has been named interim head coach. Will be in Denver for Sunday's game, so stay with 8 News Now all weekend for complete coverage. Back to you.
All right, thank you, John. Well, Republican Senate candidate Adam Laxalt testified in federal court case in New York this morning. Now, this is video of him walking in, which was taken by the Nevada Democratic Victory, which is running campaigns for his opponent, current Nevada Senator Catherine Cortez Masto. Now, it is a criminal election finance trial for a Ukraine man named Lev Parnas. Now, the government says he was a straw man for a Soviet financier and associate of Rudy Giuliani. It happened while Laxalt was running for governor back in 2018. The Associated Press says Laxalt testified he met with Parnas and asked him for donations. He testified he accepted a $10,000 check for his campaign, but had to return it. Laxalt is not accused of any wrongdoing. 2 Oregon men were arrested in connection with a pipe bomb explosion earlier this week. Our I-Team reports this happened near Harmon and Covell, just off the Strip. Robert Stice and Shane Perry are charged in the case. They told police they like explosions and didn't want to start a fire in the desert, so they set it off in a dumpster. Vaccine policies kicked in some major resorts today. MGM Properties and the Westgate are now requiring certain employees to show proof of vaccination.
Those companies that are implementing the vaccine mandate are trying also, in addition to protecting the community, they also are trying to protect the product and the service that they are offering to the community.
Well, the policy at MGM applies to salaried employees and anyone hired after August 30th. The Westgate policy applies to all non-union workers unless they provide proof of a medical or religious exemption. Well, checking tonight's COVID report, Clark County is showing 106 cases per 100,000 people. For mask mandates to change, well, that needs to get below 50. In terms of the test positivity rate, it's still below 7%, which is unchanged from Thursday. More than 54% of Clark County is now fully vaccinated. An FDA advisory committee voted to authorize a booster dose of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. It still needs to be approved by the agency, but shots would happen at least 2 months after the first. The FDA has still not greenlit a Moderna booster, though it's been recommended. Pfizer is the only one with full approval. The storage facility where military gear was stolen this week says it's working with police in the investigation. In a statement, the company says, "We understand the importance of providing our customers with a secure facility and take all steps necessary to provide a safe environment to store their belongings." Now, this comes after a Nevada Army National Guard soldier had more than $5,000 worth of gear stolen from her unit. She's since added a new lock. Well, winds are to blame on the collapse at La Bonita supermarket over the summer. Now, that's according to a report released by Clark County. This was at the location near Eastern and Desert Inn. 4 people were hurt. Gusts of 35 to 45 miles per hour were reported the previous day. No word yet on a possible reopening. Well, mail continues to arrive slow for so many Americans as we near the holiday season. Changes within the Postal Service have cut down hours, leading to longer delivery times. Now Congress is stepping in, calling for action to keep things from getting worse.
Is an attack on seniors, veterans, and small businesses across the country.
Lawmakers sent a message to the U.S. Postal Service on Friday saying the agency is not delivering for the American people.
Missing service standards hurts those who rely on the Postal Service and ultimately can prove to be a death spiral for the Postal Service.
At a special remote hearing in Chicago, Virginia Congressman Jerry Connolly said post office problems like improper scanning and staffing shortages led to late fees on bills and delayed medications for customers.
These delays are especially concerning and potentially life-threatening.
Many in Congress blame the changes the agency's leader, Postmaster General Louis DeJoy, continues to make.
If someone came to my business and said, "I got an idea, I'm going to reduce the value of your product, I'm going to raise its price," you'd say to yourself, "You think that's a winning combination?"
DeJoy's plan includes longer delivery times, cuts to post office hours, and more expensive postage to erase a projected $160 billion loss over the next decade.
Let's make it perfectly clear. The post office has had issues far before the current Postmaster General.
Pennsylvania Congressman Fred Keller wants widespread reforms to the Postal Service, and Congress is debating various legislation to do so. But in the meantime, a union representative for letter carriers said the agency needs to deliver for them too.
We are embarrassed by what the Postal Service has become.
Well, President Biden is back on the road pushing his social spending plan, which remains in limbo in Congress. The president hopes the plan will include things like new investments in childcare and the workforce. On average, nearly a third of children who potentially need care lack access to it. It's not only a matter of cost, but a lack of childcare facilities as well as workers.
We need an investment in both what we call the supply of childcare in this country, as well as parents' ability to pay for it.
Speaker Nancy Pelosi acknowledged this week the president's bill will have to be cut down, but says emphasis will remain on children and moms. Well, coming up, concerns from the TSA, the message from the agency as officers find a record number of guns in carry-on luggage this year. Plus, on the hunt for something spooky, we follow some local ghost hunters who are on a mission to share their passion with the community. You're watching 8 News Now at 11. We are live, local now.
5 at 11. This is 8 News Now.
A stuntman rehearsing for America's Got Talent Extreme needed to be hospitalized after an accident. TMZ reports Jonathan Goodwin was suspended 70 feet in the air in a straitjacket, basically hanging upside down. He reportedly hit his head. No word on how serious his injuries are. Well, close to 4,500 guns were found by TSA officers in just the first 9 months of the year. Now that's up from 2019 and now a new 20-year record. 68 were recovered right here in Las Vegas. Washington correspondent Rashad Hudson has more on the concerns from TSA.
It's just an accident waiting to happen.
TSA says this year it's already discovered more loaded handguns at airport security checkpoints than ever before.
So to see this record happen in this way is quite alarming and it's very disturbing.
Officers found firearms at 248 different airports in the U.S., with states like Texas, Georgia, and Florida having the highest number found. TSA says nearly 5,000 guns were discovered at TSA checkpoints across the country, and many of them were loaded.
So now we have started to see 11 firearms per million passengers.
That's twice the rate of last year. The agency says the findings are especially concerning given the increased number of unruly passengers on flights throughout the pandemic.
That's just one more reason why you would not want to have a weapon on an aircraft.
To better find weapons, TSA is installing new screening machines at airports around the country.
We can see more inside the bag than we could ever see before based on new technology.
Those caught bringing a firearm throughout a security checkpoint also face federal criminal charges.
This has been a policy that's been in place for decades. You know, nobody snuck this rule in there when nobody was looking.
According to TSA guidance, travelers can pack unloaded firearms in locked, hard-sided cases inside their checked baggage. Reporting in Washington, Rashad Hudson.
Well, in Reno, whips have been banned in the downtown area. The city council says a permit is required to have one there. Now, there's been a jump in 911 cases, basically because people mistake the crack of the whip for gunfire. Whips are not uncommon in that part of Nevada. Basically, ranchers and livestock operators use them to herd animals. Well, after days of delays and cancellations, Southwest Airlines wants to make things right. Emails have gone out to travelers apologizing for the issues. Travel vouchers also went out, ranging from anywhere from $100 to $250. That's on top of refunds or flight credits. Now, the carrier is required to give when the flights are canceled and passengers can't rebook. All right, Halloween is coming up very fast, and some curious minds came together tonight to search for some ghosts.
A Ghost Hunting 101 course, Christian, was put on tonight for just $1. This was at the Whitney Recreation Center with some help from the Elite Vegas Paranormal Society. Now, groups got to learn about the equipment used and how the real things differ from what we see on TV.
We want to educate people that A, it's nothing to be afraid of, B, it's around us all the time, and C, that they're able to experience it without being, kind of break some of the myth.
Ooh, all right, so the group says the rec centers are a magnet for some ghosts and spirits because they are drawn to some happiness.
Really?
Interesting.
Because in the movies, they're usually drawn to negative energy, right? But that's just the movies.
But you know what I'm drawn to?
What?
Great weather, which is what we're having right now.
And I can deliver.
Windows roll down.
Yes.
Nice breeze coming in.
Sunroof open right on your way home. You're going to enjoy it on your way home. All right. Live look outside. Yeah, it's been great lately, especially in the afternoons. Evening's a little cool, a little chilly for some of you, but still a nice start to our morning. This evening now, nice and cool live shot there of the Las Vegas Strip. Hey, we got a great sunset shot that we put on social media where this looks like Christmas. So go to our social media page, my page as well, and check it out for yourself and share it with your friends and family. Outside, the high for the day today, only 74 degrees. I say only because this is where we should be, 82. We're 9 straight days of temperatures out of the 80s, all right? So below average, and that will continue again for tomorrow. The record on the state, 94 degrees, set back in 1958. So temperatures in the 90s now are on record territory. I don't see any 90s in the 8-day forecast. Thank you very much. 56 in Centennial Hills right now. Summerlin at 61, 60 for the lakes, 61 for downtown. So it's nice and cool outside. The winds have calmed down quite a bit, so we have lighter winds. 61 for Henderson, 60 even for Rhodes Ranch, and Southern Highlands also at 61 as well. It's 57 currently for Pahrump. 62 up there in Northeast Clark. Got a lot of viewers up there. Thanks for watching. 72 nice and mild for you downriver in Laughlin. Valley radar. Nothing wrong with the radar again. I just want to point out to you just how dry it is from here all the way over to the Sierras and also east of us. We are dry as a bone. Big ridge here right on top of us, deflecting all that energy up in the Pacific Northwest yet again. Now we're watching a low off the coast that will change up our weather, we think, early on next week in the form of winds as it drags a cold front through the area. Now, shower chances are limited here. Not going to happen. That's going to be staying up north. But we are going to get gusty winds as early as Sunday night and peak on Monday with those 30-mile-per-hour gusts with some breezes left over Tuesday morning specifically. After that, though, everything looks pretty calm through the rest of the week. Saturday barbecue weather looks pretty good. Temperatures in the 70s again. Look at that, 76, so warmer for the day today. Warmer than today, I should say, but still out of near record, or I should say average territory. Remember, 83 degrees is where we should be for this time of the year. We're only calling for the high 70s tomorrow, so another great day on tap for tomorrow. Here's the forecast, 54 overnight. Cool this evening, overnight, lighter winds. Tomorrow, 76, like we pinpointed out to you. Sunny and warm, but still unseasonably cool. If you're headed to Mount Charleston, check out the snow. It's still up there, 57 degrees, chilly and sunny. However, grab a jacket because we're going to have some cold breezes along with the lake. You'll have some warm breezes down at the lake. 80 degrees are high there. Wear the life vest because even with those breezes, water can get a little choppy. 8-day forecast does show temperatures to the 80s and then right back down to the 70s. We'll cool off a little bit and then 80s again next week. Looking good. Have a great weekend. That's your most accurate forecast. Back over to you.
I'll take it. Thank you, Ted. All right, from Ted to John Treat joining us here at the desk. Lots to talk about in sports, especially with the rough week with the Raiders.
Oh, you're so right. The first look at the post-Gruden Raiders, and it's a different look. Game 1 with interim head coach Rich Bisaccia will be as rugged as the Rockies. We have a preview. Plus, high school football coming in hot. We are Friday Night Fearless. Sports is next. It's week 6 and the Raiders would love nothing more than to have Sunday's game be remembered for the Gatorade bucket bath of Bisaccia. But history tells us it'll come with a side of tension. The last 3 times the Silver and Black played in Denver, the game was decided by 1 point. Both the Raiders and Broncos are 3-2. Both are aware the Chargers look like the real deal, and the Chiefs will most likely awake from their slumber and make a run. It's only week 6, but Sunday's matchup could be hugely impactful. There have been plenty of unsportsmanlike conduct flags and temper flares in this rivalry. Raiders can't be doomed by emotion.
We ran into an issue in the Pittsburgh game, up there on the road where a guy ended up getting ejected. So we've talked about that. We've talked about it to the team. And I just think we're going to do the best we can to keep our Raider poise in check. And again, we don't want to lose the emotional part, the zeal part of how we're trying to play, but also we have to do it in the framework of how we're supposed to play football in the National Football League.
There is 1 week left in the high school football regular season. One more time to sharpen the sword, because for many, just to get into the playoffs, it's going to be a battle. Faith Lutheran hosting Desert Pines and the Royals. William and Harry's other brother drawing the paparazzi. He's the smart one. Third quarter, Crusaders down 7, but driving, closing in on a score when cornerback Isaiah Rubin gets the interception and almost a sportscaster takedown. DP's offense stifled. And the punting unit in trouble. A fearless block by Vaea. Crusaders take over and march. Dre's Bellamy bulldozes to tie the game at 14. We've got a game. But Desert Pines regroups. Here comes Michael Kearns on the option, like Dak Prescott, taking the pounding and the points. Then Kearns, after he shows off his legs, how about him showing off the cannon, hitting Isley Manutai, touchdown, 35-14. DP rallies late. Got to Gorman at 8:15, and it was 42-0 with a running clock. But everyone was in good spirits. Gale students made a sign suggesting the opposing Panthers have a litter box. Not a wildlife expert, but I don't think that's accurate. Check out the strike by Style Stockham. A wicked spiral to the sprinting Elijah Lofton, 49-0. Gorman beats Palo Verde. Raiders showcase game at El Dorado as Pahrump Valley comes to the city to make a statement. What a trip, and well worth it. The Trojans play smash mouth football. Everyone going to the right on the power toss, including Zach Hular, who scores from 50 yards away. As you'll see, Pahrump Valley found the weight room, treating humans like dumbbells, just bench pressing them. Look at the drive blocks by Justin Jordan and Aiden McClard, a hole wider than Highway 160, and Brennan Benedict is speeding. Pahrump Valley 40-0. Little basketball recruiting news. Congratulations to Joshua Jefferson on his huge personal milestone. The Liberty High School forward committed to St. Mary's University in Moraga today with many other high-profile offers. Jefferson is 6'8", highly skilled. He's played since his freshman year for the Patriots and comes from great genes. Both of his brothers played Division I football. Congratulations, Joshua. If the Golden Knights win their next 80 games, we'll look back at an October game against the Kings, slap our knee, and laugh at the outrage. But since we aren't there yet, last night's performance in LA was a big yikes. The Golden Knights allowed 6 goals against the Kings last night, and in fact, the defensive side of the ice has been disconcerting at best. The Knights have played 6 periods of hockey so far. In 4 of those periods, they have allowed multiple goals. It's a small sample, but Vegas can't allow it to be a big problem.
Coaches are going to dissect the details, but in the end of the day, I think it's just battle. As I said, this group, ever since before I got here and since I got here, we've outworked every team 95% of the games. And today we got very outworked, and I had to make some. I would like to make some more saves, but at the end of the day, the puck bounced in, and they were in our zone a long time.
Finally, tonight, a sports anchor was shooting a high school game near Hualapai and Sahara when it almost became the end. While capturing the wonderful interception by Isaiah Rubin, the funny-looking guy with the camera nearly had his day with the Lord. I mean, there was almost a pile of a man in a tie and makeup. Listen, Isaiah, I want a wife and kids someday. Take it easy. I mean, he was coming in hot. Wow. I was going to be the tough guy there, but I was like, getting older.
Busy Friday night.
It was.
But great highlights there. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
All right, we'll be back.
5 at 11. This is 8 News Now.
Finally tonight, a popular show is celebrating 23 years of performances. And yes, we're talking about O, the Cirque show over at the Bellagio. Since 1998, O has dazzled more than 17 million fans. And it's now one of the best-selling theatrical performances in Las Vegas. And fun fact, John, 6 performers in the aquatic show have competed in 1 or more Olympic Games. Just a great show. Have you seen it?
I have. Those are some athletes.
They're amazing.
They are
just
amazing.
A fabulous show. Just that one and overall all of them. They're all great shows. All right, that's all for all of us from here at 11 o'clock. The Stephen Colbert Show is next. We'll see you back here on Monday night.